Don Westfall and Dan McCarger back in downtown Mankato, where officially we saw a 5-5 tie tonight in WCHA play. Both teams got a point with that, and as we work through a couple of overtime sessions, no one scores, and so we go to the shootout, and there, in round number 6, Ross Height gives the Nanooks the extra point tonight. Entertaining all the way, obviously a little bit disappointing for the home fans. They got to see the shootout. It just went the wrong way, but I got to believe for some Mavericks and for some of the big-time hockey fans, the realization is we kind of gave up 2 points here tonight.
I don't think there's any question about it. You came in the weekend, you wanted 6 points, you got 4. It's a disappointing weekend because of that. But when you get down 3-0 on your home ice after one period and you get a point out of it, you got to be happy. But then you realize you scored 4 in the second period to take the lead. It's kind of disappointing. So it's just a roller coaster of a night. Again, I think a shootout is a ridiculous way to end a hockey game, but that's the way they do it. And you can't tell the fans that this wasn't something to watch because they were on their feet and they enjoyed the heck out of it. So for the sheer entertainment value of it, they got their money's worth tonight. There's no question. But they give up the extra point in the shootout, and that's too bad.
As Dan talked about highlights, it was a 3-0 lead for Alaska after the first one. You can't do that on your home ice, but nonetheless, that's what the Mavericks did tonight. And here's the goal, a shorthanded effort by Morley, and that ended the first period, and that made it 3-0 as we worked into period number 2. But then the Mavericks mount their comeback pretty quickly. McClure at 26 seconds is going to come up with a little bit of a wrister, and that one got behind Jones, and that made it 3-1. And the Maverick comeback was on. They would tie it and end up actually taking a 4-3 lead here on a shorthanded goal of their own as Michaelis comes up with his 4th goal of the weekend. And so the Mavericks actually led 4-3 after 2 periods of play. Into the third, it's going to be a tying goal coming up here by Troy Van Teeteren as he takes advantage of a loose puck on the near side. Again, that made it 4-4 just 27 seconds into the third. Actually, it was Alaska taking a lead, and then all of a sudden, C.J. Franklin got loose on a play as McClure held the zone, got it down to Franklin, and that was his 5th. That made it 5-5. That was actually halfway through the third. It remained tied through the extra sessions, as we talked about it here in round 6. Ross Height gets the goal that gives the Nanooks the extra point. The Mavericks could not answer, and in the shootout, again in round 6, that goal there by Ross Height gives the Nanooks 2 points on the evening.
Game summary, 57-27, a 30-shot advantage for the Mavericks tonight, and they end up giving up the extra point. Face-offs, 49-41. Neither team were able to score on the power play. Penalty minutes, 28-16. The big difference is that extra 10 minutes that was thrown on very late in the overtime there. So look at those stats, and Mavericks look like you win that game easy if you don't look at the score. Well, out-of-town scores. Our play of the game first.
We'll take a look at our J. Beal top floor play of the game. J. Beal Real Estate Group does the little things that make a big difference, and that's our goal again. That's got the Mavericks going way back in the second. McClure just again 26 seconds into the period. And another play of the game here to finish things off is, frankly, you got a bonus one tonight. Why not? We had 10 goals in the contest. Yes. Yeah. So we had plays of the game sponsored by the J. Beal Real Estate Group. J. Beal does the little things that make a big difference. And we'll bring you some of the out-of-town scores around collegiate hockey.
It's been kind of an interesting night in college hockey. Tech wins over Bemidji State tonight 2-1, so the Mavericks are able to gain a point on Bemidji. Bowling Green gets 3 tonight over Lake Superior State, winning 5-2. They pick up 3 points on the night. Huntsville with a win over Ferris. They're scoreless. Northern Michigan and Alaska Anchorage underway. 5-5 overtime tie for St. Cloud State and Western Michigan. Denver leading Colorado College in the third. Ohio State blows the doors off the Gophers tonight with 4 in the second, 8-3 final there. Nebraska Omaha 3-2 over Wisconsin in the third. Harvard beats Clarkson tonight. An overtime tie for Providence and BU. Notre Dame shuts out UMass tonight, and North Dakota beats BC 4-3. And here are the updated standings in the WCHA. Mavericks still in 4th place, 3 points behind Bowling Green. They are 18 points out of 1st place, and they have 2 games in hand, so there's a possibility, Don, of 6 more points for the Mavericks, where they would be 12 points behind the Beavers with when they get to even. So that's where they are at the moment. There's a lot of work yet to do.
I thought the comments from Coach Hastings were interesting about we got to learn from this. You can't get down 3-0 on your home ice, and you also can't give up a lead going into the third period.
Correct. And this team on this ice over the last 5 years has not done that. They do not give up leads. They usually score and win these games in regulation in the third period, but tonight they just gave up a couple. They got it back to tied. But, yeah, a little bit of a disappointment, but certainly the fans got their money's worth. They had a lot of fun tonight.
Entertaining game, and again, the Mavericks come through, and you have to like the pushback they gave here.
Yes.
They could have died, but they stuck with it. Even when they got down in the third, they had to come back and tie it up. So, interesting contest, and as it is, again, it goes into the books 5-5 tie between the two teams, and Alaska gets the extra point with the win in the shootout, or round 6 of that. And that will do it for our broadcast here in 2016. It's been fun. We look forward to bringing you some extra broadcasts coming up here. You can take a look at what our next broadcast is coming up in 2017, all the way into January 13th and 14th.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and there'll be snow on the ground and ice and all that sort of stuff the next time we see each other.
It's on its way, but again, the Mavericks on the road next weekend. They're actually gone the next 2 weekends before they come back here, 13th and 14th of January in WCHA play. But once again, our final score tonight, 5-5 tie between Minnesota State, Mankato, and Alaska, with the Nanooks getting the extra point in the shootout. For Dan McCarger and Don Westfall, the students from Bethany Lutheran College, we thank you for watching. Again, as Dan mentioned, have a great holiday season, and we will see you in 2017.